Hi, grade sixes. So today we are going to be talking about writing for change. In our last lesson that we did, we talked about non-governmental organizations and how sometimes global citizens will reach out to bigger groups in order to look for ways to change issues that they're concerned about. Now, sometimes global citizens do more by themselves independently to inspire changes and issues that are important to them. And one of the ways they do this is to do what we call get writing. So that means that they normally will write a letter to someone who's important or a group that's important that they feel can create some changes in the issues that they're concerned about. So we're going to kind of talk about some things that a global citizen might include in a letter they would write in order to look for action or initiative in an issue that they're trying to change. So when a global citizen, or even ourselves as writers, are writing a letter, there's a few things that we need to consider. First of all, we have to make sure that we are being very clear. We want to make sure that the letter that we are writing, especially if it's about an issue that concerns us, is to the point and that it's also very clear to the person reading it. You want people to understand what the issue is that you're concerned about and also what you hope could be done to change that issue or solve it in some way. You also want to remember that in your letter, you need to know your stuff. So you need to do research online. You need to learn more about the issue that you're focused on. And by doing this research and learning more about this issue, you, in your letter, will sound more informed. And that means, and when I say sound more informed, you'll have more knowledge and more evidence to back up the claims that you're making about the issue. You also want to remember to keep the letter short. So the letter doesn't have to detail every single thing about the issue. You just want to include a brief description about the issue. For example, global warming is an issue that a global citizen may write about. Now, global warming is a huge issue, and you could say a lot of things about global warming. In fact, you could say so many things it would probably take you 20 to 30 pages. But nobody is going to read a 20 to 30 page letter. So you have to remember that you just want to include a brief description about the issue that is concerning you, why it concerns you, and what you'd like done about that issue, or what you're looking for the person you're writing to do in order to create some change. The last thing we want to consider is where to. So who are you going to send the letter to? Is it for the editor of a magazine? Is it for the CEO of a company? Is it for your local municipal representative, your local MP? Is it for a municipal councillor? Is it for somebody in provincial government, like Stephen McNeil, who is our premier? So you need to know who you're sending the letter to and where it's going. And that will also affect how you address the letter. For example, if you are writing to a local person, maybe you would address the letter, "Dear Mr. or Mrs." Whereas if you're writing a letter to a minister or somebody who is in higher power, you usually have to address them as minister or honorable because they're elected to a higher position in government. Now, in the book in our hands, we've been covering lots of different sections of this book. And the section that I have recorded today is called Pen Power. Pen power is not so much information, it's more so about global citizens who are the same age as you, all over Canada and abroad, who have taken these pieces of advice about how to write a letter concerning an issue and how they've had success in doing this to create change within an issue that they were concerned about. So I will also be asking a thinking question. And as you know, if you do watch these videos with your social studies lessons, I normally always ask you a thinking question that I expect you to answer at the end of the video and comment the answer in the assignment stream. That way I know who's watching. So make sure that you do that and that you listen for that question very carefully. Now we're going to complete an assignment, and this assignment hits a little close to home because it does surround COVID-19. So as you all know, COVID-19, or as we know it, coronavirus, has been a huge factor in all of our lives over the past few months. Currently, we are not in school due to health restrictions, and the provincial government is doing this because they feel it is best for our safety. Now, as a global citizen, you have a right to comment on these issues. You have a right to have an opinion. And you'll see a man in the picture in the slideshow. This man's name is Zach Churchill. He is our current Minister of Education. That means any decisions about schools or schooling, they go through him, and he's our provincial government representative. That means he represents, he's the Minister of Education for our province of Nova Scotia. So what you're going to do today as a global citizen is you are going to write a letter to Zach Churchill explaining why you are either for going back to school this year or against going back to school this year. Your letter should contain at least 2 paragraphs. Remember, as we learned above, we want to keep our letter short and to the point. It also should be addressed to Minister Zach Churchill, and whatever reasons you're giving should be backed up with evidence. So if you are giving reasons for why we shouldn't go back, for example, you need to look up reasons why it would not be a good idea for us to go back to school, and how coronavirus would maybe affect our health if we went back. Conversely, if you're arguing for us going back, you have to argue why, based on the research you're finding online, why that might be a good idea. So remember, whatever reasons you give, they have to be backed up with evidence. And if you're looking to find this evidence, you can find it online. So I'm going to show you the Google Doc that I've attached to the assignment. And I'll show that to you now. And I've already got the header, or the opening, and the closing. So I already know what your letter means. So I'll show you now. See the letter that I have, Dear Minister Churchill, and of Sincerely Yours, which is the closing. I've sincerely, and your name will go at the bottom, where it says your name here. You can write your name in, highlight. Now, if you have another global issue that concerns you that is not necessarily this one about COVID-19 and writing a letter to Minister Churchill, and it's a global issue that you feel very strongly about and would like to write a letter about to a certain person, you can do that as well. Just let me know through an email or through a comment in the assignment stream that you are going to be writing a different letter to a different person about a global issue that concerns you. It doesn't have to be about this, but I did assign it this way just in case you couldn't think of anything. This gives you a really good setup for completing the assignment and remembering what we've learned about writing a letter, especially when it concerns an issue that we are trying to advocate for or against. And also, we want to also remember, as we're doing the assignment, we want to remember the things that we would have learned at the beginning of the year about letter writing in general. So remembering that we have to, of course, address the letter, put who it's from, and in the middle, we want to give details with evidence about what we're explaining within that letter. So that's the assignment for today. If you have any questions, you can comment on the assignment in the stream. You can send me a Gmail, comment in the classroom. Please reach out. I'm only an email away, and I'm here to answer any questions that you might have. And I think that's it. And good luck. We'll be chatting soon. Bye.